Welcome to Mixed Media Creations with me, Creative Katie, Karen Burchell. Here's how you can follow me on Instagram. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and select the option to get notified as soon as I upload a new video. That way you won't miss any. Today is Journaling by 5 Friday. Revamped and Revisited. You might want to check out the links in the description box below for steps 1 and 2. Today, step 3, stenciling. Here's some information to look over. Copies of this can be found in the Files section in my Facebook group, Mixed Media Creations. You can download them.
Hi everybody, Creative Katie, Karen Burchell, and we are getting ready to do step 3 in Journaling by 5's Revisited and Revamped. And on my step 3, it's stencils. So you're either going to get pattern onto it or texture. Now you can use stencils and put paint through it, but again, my caution is edit. Choose fewer colors, choose fewer stencils. What I'm going to use with my stencils, as I'm looking through this, through my pages, I have enough pattern there with the stamping and the stuff that maybe was on the collage papers. So I am going to use it to get texture. And I'm going to use light modeling paste. I'm emptying up this bottle, so that's why I'm using this today. Normally I use flexible modeling paste, both by Liquitex. You can also use wall compound. This is just in a smaller jar, but this is just the regular wall compound that you can buy. I bought mine at Home Hardware, their brand of stuff, and I just use it, and it works really well. I've had no difficulties with that. So, and it's, you know, you can get a giant tub for the price of what you would get this for using a 50% off coupon. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to either use a palette knife, my silicone brush, or you can just use a credit card. And sometimes this is my favorite way. I find I have the most success using the credit card. So all of those are there just in case I have some difficulty with it. I might switch halfway to just putting some gesso through a stencil, which would give it a little bit of texture, but not the same amount. Now, I have these, and I've kind of mixed them up because instead of having them in order, and I've decided that I am going to use 10 stencils, and I have those here. These are some of my favorite stencils, segmented swirls. This one from Tim Holtz. This was cut from a Crafter's Workshop, the center of it. Another Tim Holtz, a Crafter's Workshop one of my, some of my favorites. This one, and links to the specific stencils that I have here, I will put in the description box. But, for some of them, I'm picking ones that are smaller because I love how the paint, which I'm going to be putting in the next step, the paint and ink or whatever catches in the grooves, the nicks and the crannies. This is just a homemade stencil, Harlequin and these tiny dots. And I kind of looked at these and kind of, I have lots of circles here, so I picked circles, but I want to use stencils that they're going to put some interest into the paper. So I've decided that I'm going to do 2 pages. So I've just mixed them up. So this is like number 10 and number 2. I've got my paste here. Over to the side, I have a tub of water, because if you're putting wall compound or light modeling paste or even gesso through the stencil, you're going to need to wash it. You don't want it to dry on it, and I don't want to damage my stencils. If your pages are curling, you can just kind of form them so that they're flat. So I'm going to put basically the two here, grab the stencil, put on, however I see fit, toss it into the tub of the water, and toss these over to the side. I've switched from my studio to my dining room table, if you're wondering why it looks different, simply because I have more space here. And, with this, it's going to need to dry. So I'm going to grab my phone, set the timer, and I will be back to get this started. Okay, so there's the timer. I think I'm all ready. I have lots of circles on this one, so don't overthink, don't overthink. Into the water. I want to break up some of this napkin. And the water. For me, having the texture is really critical to how I like to work. So by switching up my pages and mixing them up, I'm going to be able to not have the same stencil used on 2 consecutive pages. That's one. Did I put 2 of those? I don't remember anymore. So it doesn't matter. In there. If anybody knows the name of this stencil, let me know because I absolutely love it. but I don't know the name and I haven't been able to relocate it. Good enough. So having the modeling paste out and on the side has been proven to be very, very helpful. And I'm not switching colors here. You can do stencils. That was 2 of them. I tend to put it always in the corner, so I'm fighting that urge to do that. And it's going to present for me some really interesting maybe challenges down the road, but that's okay. If you don't like a page, then you can do more with the texture paste or more with the colors or stenciling on it. Running out of paste. If you run out of paste, then simply, stop the camera, stop your timer, and continue. I'm switching to my modeling page or my wall compound. And you know, I've learned over time that making it perfect, the stencils, having it perfect isn't, you got to let go of that. And the last two. You know, good enough. And I have 3 minutes left. So, you know what? I'm good with that. I'm just gonna put that in there, and I'm just going to get this all dry and clean up, and I will come back. Okay, so everything is dried, and I'm hoping that you can see, you know, with the texture paste being white, it's not, you know, you can't totally see it until we get some color onto that. But what it kind of has done is started to pull the page together, because you have some of the texture paste on the various different components. So there's page 1. Two, and you really can't see the swirl there so much. 3. I like the swirl down here. I like the effect of this on here. This, I think, is one of my least favorite pages, but you know, we're not done yet. I'm a bit concerned right now about my decision to do color as the number 4 stage. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but you know what? We're in. The wall compound is thicker, so it gives a different texture than the light modeling paste. It will also take the paints or sprays or whatever you put on it. Number 8. I'm really liking how this one is looking. Oops. Number 9. I like the blues and the golds on this one. So, you know, my mind is already going to, you know, This one, which right off the get-go from the beginning was one of my least favorites, it's moving up the scale. I'm liking it more and more. This one, I like parts of it, but you know, there's really, it doesn't seem to be coming together just yet. As does this one. I do have this swirl of these little star flowers here, and that could be interesting, but there's, you know, too much of this napkin in my, like, it's, this one I'm liking. I've got, you know, the circle here, a circle here, and then we have the swirls, we have the black circles, we have the white. It just, can't go wrong with circles. That being said, this one has circles and you get a total different feel of this one. Love that Harlequin stencil. It's a good standard. Now remember, in the finishing stage, you can go back to any and all of the various stages. So if I decide, you know, I want another one of these modeling paste stencils over here, I can then do it. You know, I'm looking at them and thinking, oh, something's missing there. I've got script here, I need script here. I'm thinking, you know, and the page will tell you what it needs, and you may, you know, reintroduce some of the components that you've already had. I'd like to take this thing right off, but I cannot. I have to leave it on. It serves no purpose here at all, but doing the modeling paste, you know, picking 10 stencils for the 20 pages, doing 2 pages with each stencil, really worked. Whether you do it with modeling paste or you do it with paint, limit your paint colors, and you will need a makeup sponge for every color. And because you're not allowing drying time in between, you may have to, you know, be prepared for some smudging and blending of the colors. So I'm going to look at these and study them and try to figure out what or how I'm going to put on color, because now that there's texture paste, you know, putting it on with a brayer, with a credit card, it's all going to be a little different. So I'm going to do some thinking about that, but that's what this is all about. Experimenting, getting out of your comfort zone, trying something different. So, you know, one of my questions going in is, does the Journaling by 5 process have something to offer somebody who has been art journaling for a while? Or is it just for beginners? And I find I'm pushing myself to try new things and do new things. I mean, definitely I'm applying the knowledge that I have from art journaling over, you know, 3 years. But I also find that I'm pushing myself. So yes, the process is a valuable one. If you haven't joined my Facebook group, Mixed Media Creations, please do. There in the file section, all the printables, the hints and tips will be in that Facebook group. You know, as I try to make this process a little bit more fail-proof, I guess, while still allowing for you to get into your right side of your brain. Bye for now.